Good morning, everybody. New video. We got a little snow last night. You can see the solar panels kind of covered there. And all these windmills not turning. Those panels are all buried in snow. I could get a broom or something and sweep them off. But I just want to see how stuff works naturally. This is 2 rolls of buried 6-gauge wire. Out here in the backyard, checking out all the snow. And here we have 6 new dirty 300-watt panels. We got those from Solar Warehouse in Jordan, Utah. Went and picked them up, $180 each. Not bad, I believe. This side over here, I think it's at more of a slope than the other side, so it's not retaining so much snow. I want to see how long it takes these to melt off. I wanted to go up on the roof today and put the panels in, but that's not going to happen. It'll happen next trip. And I have a totally different plan for installing the panels also, for mounting them. It'll be a lot easier, I think. But yeah, they'll melt off pretty quick. I could just go ahead and sweep them off, but I want to see how long it takes them to clean themselves off. Alright, I'm going to go inside and play. I'm going to open this door so it'll warm up a little bit in there. And look what we got here. This is a Epever tracer 60 amp. And it came with all the goodies. I'm going to wire the new panels in series, at 36 volts. And just use one charge controller. And it's chilly in here. We're charging solar batteries. Right there, 0.47 amps right now. And we're using 12 on the AC. The wind is doing nothing, and 1.7 volts on DC. So everything's still working, nothing burned up yet, which I think is probably a good thing. So east, let's see, number 4. Oops. We're getting 0.3 amps out of it through the snow, 0.4 amps. It'll come up pretty quick. Our battery voltage is at 12.2, 12.3. Alright, I'm going to do some plan. I'll be back. I think. How do I turn this thing off? Oh, there it is. That last controller up there, forgot to plug this in, and I've been playing with it. You'll remember last week I could not get these to connect to the computer. Well, I bought a $87 Lavino ThinkPad, IBM, whatever, laptop and installed the software on that and the drivers, and it works perfect. I'm very, very happy with that. This is what I did over here. There's a cover that goes on this. I haven't got it back on yet. There's the fuse going to the solar panels. I'm going to put another fuse in there. I need a fuse here. I haven't got a fuse in this yet. And what I'm thinking, I might just get a big giant fuse and put in each of these in case there's a short somewhere. But I haven't done it yet. But I'm pretty happy with these. They do work. I don't have all the information on how to do the programming through these yet, but I'm working on it. So I don't have the solar panels. The solar panels are going to be hooked up here. I went with these big bus bars because they'll allow a lot more current than this. And this is 6-gauge wire. I'm using 6-gauge wire on that one. All 6 of the remaining panels are going to be on this one. I'll probably have to wire that one for 36 volts. So it's going to have some voltage on it, that's for sure, and some amperage, but it seems like it'll handle it. That thing weighs about 11 or 12 pounds. It's not light. Pretty decent little unit. I do like these so far. But I'm going to get that cover put on and go from there. Oh, one more thing. This one is chainable through the the LAN cable here. So if you have this style, you can chain them together and they'll talk to each other. I wish I'd have known that earlier. I didn't see that in the instructions when I was looking at it anywhere, but these are chainable, and that is really good. I could have done away with two of these and two of those. I probably should have gone 80 amp and 80 amp, and I still have to have 2 individual ones for the side panels, the east and west. But I could have done, it would have cost more, but really it wasn't. These were $158 each, and this was $300 roughly with everything. So I think the 80 amp was $350 or something. Yeah, it would have cost more, and I'm out of money. What can I say? Go blowing all the money all the time. But I'm happy with them so far. I like the way they charge. It's just charging just above what the batteries need. What the load is right there. So we're using 1.5 amps on 12 volt, 13 amps on 110, and it's put in 13.5. And the wind generator, I can hear it howling out there, but it's not doing jack. So, but I'm going to get this cleaned up back here and be ready to put some solar panels up next week. One of the guys asked me to do something on chaining again, on putting everything together in series. And it's just amazingly simple. I mean, I'll do it again. But I don't know if I'll do it in this video or not. I might, Sue's running around here somewhere on a motorcycle. Maybe I can get her to stand still for 5 minutes and help me with that. Anyhow, I'll be back. Okay, I'm going to walk back here real quick. Sue is running the coffee pot. It's about almost 9 o'clock in the morning. And that's what it is. Now keep in mind that coffee pot's probably only drawing 2 or 3 amps. The solars are at 67, 68. So putting in the same amount as what is coming out right now, what the system is using. Your inverter in there is the weak link of your system, and it uses more energy than it puts out. It's using more amperage than it puts out. It's very inefficient. So just keep that in mind when you're doing this. There's that new unit up there. It's all hooked up and ready for solar panels. And here's the, oh, here it is. That's the controller for it. I was able to get everything connected up properly yesterday. I had no problem with a Windows 7 laptop connecting to these with the laptop. No problem at all. Windows 10 does not work. So I have a Windows 7 laptop that worked perfectly to connect to these, and I was able to get them all set up. I'll stop complaining about that. Alright, so I'm going to do one more thing here and we'll get this one published. Okay, we're going to try and do this. I was asked to do this by one of my subscribers. You were hooking up solar panels in series. This is 12 volt. This is 12 volt. This is 12 volt. And this is 12 volt. They have a minus and a plus. A minus and a plus. Minus, plus, minus, plus coming out of them. So what you're doing to hook these up in series, my red pen's gone. There it is. I don't know if you're going to see it anyhow. It's pretty out of focus a little bit. So what you're going to do, if you just have a 12 volt system, then you want to run all of these down to your controller. You want to make sure that your controller will handle this. You have the solar panel in and the battery in. So the first thing you want to do is you want to hook this up to your battery. You want to make sure this solar panel is working. Well, not solar panel, but you got to have this controller powered up before you hook up these up here. You have to have it hooked up to the battery. So that's your controller. If you have a 12 volt system, what you want to do is you just want to run your plus and your minus and your plus and your minus and your, well, that's not a very good description. And I've dropped my towel. Okay, we'll erase that. I'll try and do this in color. Okay, you have your minus and you have your plus on the controller. So what you want to do is you want to run every one of these. Boy, I'm not doing this in color very well. It's kind of hard to be flopping pins all over the place. Minus, minus, and minus, and plus, and plus, and plus. So you want to make sure everything's hooked up, the correct polarity and everything. That's a 12 volt system. With all of your panels going at your controller, that's 12 volt. So if you have a 24 volt controller, a lot of your controllers will handle 12, 24, 36, and 48. If you're going to hook this up for 48 volts, and your controller also should convert, like if you have 48 volts going in, or 24 volts going in, or whatever, it should convert that to 12 volts for your battery. So if you want this to be 24 volts, you're going to hook these two together. This is your plus, and this is your minus. So we'll do this all across all of them. Okay, so you have your minus and your plus. Now you have 24 volts on that one. And you have 24 volts on this one. So if this one's 24 and that one's 24, so now all you have to do is you take your minus to your controller and your minus to your controller, and then your positive to your controller and your positive to your controller, just like that. So now you have a 24 volt system. Now since we have 4 panels up there, we don't want to hook up 3 of them as 36 and 1 as 12. Your controller most likely won't handle it. You'd have to have 6 panels to do 3 of these and 36 volt. But if you wanted 36 volt and we're not using this one, you just hook these 2 together and these 2 together, and then this one to here and your plus to here. And there's your 36 volt system. So if you want a 48 volt system, which is what this one would be, the way it's setting there, you're going to hook these 2 together, these 2 together, and these 2 together. Plus to minus, plus to minus, plus to minus, plus to minus. Then you hook up your minus to the controller and your plus to the controller. And that's how you do your your series solar panels. Somebody asked me about that, and I thought I'd do a really lousy representation of how that works. Demonstration or whatever. Now on our roof, I have 6 more solar panels out there. I'm going to hook those up in a 36 volt configuration. So we have, oops, one of these pins works. Okay, I got the red one again. Okay, we have 6 solar panels. I'm going to hook plus to minus, plus to minus. Then over here, plus to minus, and plus to minus. These are not connected. Now I have 12, 24, 36 volts. So on my controller, these are going to be hooked up to the controller as a parallel. So you have series up here and parallel down to here. So I'm going to have the plus coming into the controller and the minus coming into the controller, and the plus and the minus coming into the controller. So that would be this down here, the controller is in parallel. This up here is in series. That's how you hook that up. Now, one last thing real quick. Your charge controllers can be hooked into your batteries. You can chain charge controllers. So you have 3 charge controllers, 4 charge controllers, and your battery bank down here. You're going to go in parallel on every one of these. Plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, and minus. That's parallel. That's putting your charge controllers, 4 of them, into one battery. Say you have a 40 amp charge controller and you're running, let's say 4, 8, 12, 16 solar panels in a 24 volt system. So you have 16, 4 here, 4 here, 4 here, 4 here. The charge controllers will be running probably about 36 amps, and they'll be charged, all of them will be together charging your batteries. You can still do this. Let's say you have 230 watt panels, 300 watt panels, 310 watt panels, and 200 watt panels, something really cheap. You can actually, for your higher amperage panels, buy a better quality. Where's my black pen? I'm just going to drop that one. You could put a 60 amp on these and use another 40 amp down here. Your higher amperage panels, your lower amperage panels, and you still use the parallel system. Try and use the same brand. I got these EPsolars or Epever controllers, and so far I like them, other than the software issues, and I got that worked out by switching to Windows 7. They do work, but try and use the same brand of panel. Now what we were doing before this was we had 30 amp so the most number of panels that I could use was 3. So I could only hook up 3 panels to each of these. So 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's all the panels I could hook up to that. I could only run 12 volt into them because anything else would have overdone that. If I added one more and even ran a 24 volt system, where these two are connected and these two are connected, it would have been too much for that. But somebody asked me to go over solar in parallel, and in the EPsolar 60 amp manual, it's a Epever on Amazon. In the 60 amp, I don't think I saw it in the 40 amp, and in the 60 amp it actually has, let me grab that. It has a pretty good diagram of how to wire things in parallel and in series. Has a couple of diagrams in there. But this is the Epever Trace AN series, and this manual is for the 60 amp unit. I like them. I didn't at first, but okay, the video or the batteries in the camera died the last 2 seconds of that video, but I didn't like these at first, but I'm starting to. I wish we had gone with 80s all the way across, because that would have taken care of these, this, and this, but it wouldn't have taken care of this one and this one. This one, this one, and this one. These could have all been replaced. Well, 60s would have done it, I think. Maybe 80s. A 60, an 80, and 2 40s. Because we can't hook up unequal solar panels to the same controller. So, by what I mean by unequal is the specifications on the solar panels have to be pretty close to the same, or you'll screw things up. Anyhow, here's what we're doing right now. This will be the last video of this one. 63 amps. We're using 21. And you'll watch this one here throughout the day. It'll go up to about 80 amps. and then it'll just slowly trickle off to a float charge, basically, where it'll set just above this voltage. So the solar panels will set at a voltage just above, maybe about equal to the voltage that we're using, or the current that we're using. Keep saying voltage. The wind generator doing squat as usual, and we're using 1.9 volts on 12 volts, 21, 22 on 110. We're charging at 65 amps. These, they get warm, but they're not hot. So that tells me I'm not overcharging them. That helps me know. I'm not going to get the panels up today as much as I would like to. We got to take Sue back to Colorado, and then I'm going to try and turn around, come back, and get this stuff done. Get her done. Anyhow, this has been fun. I really enjoy this. Make sure to share these and subscribe and get your friends to subscribe. And I need 1,000 subscribers so I can make my $5 a month from YouTube. I'll be back.